April's mother recognized him instantly. Her scream cut through the morning air, a sound that everyone who heard it said they'll never forget. Now here's the part that makes no sense. Trained police officers searched this area. They walked these banks. They looked in this water. And somehow they missed a body. A body that a grieving family found in less than half an hour. Was it incompetence? He had it detailed inside and out. Paid cash. The detailer remembers because Ewing specifically asked, but it was April, not hunting season in Kansas. Here's what we know about the timeline. At 11:30 p.m., Alonzo's friend, Justin Sprague, left the party. He offered Alonzo a ride. Alonzo declined, said, in their stories, they just stay quiet. 20 years. A mother without her son. A family without answers. A murder everyone knows happened.